into the CHGO Blackhawks Postgame Podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app, use promo code today, bet on the Hawks to give up the first goal and to lose, and you'll win lots of money. Use that code CHGO when you sign up. Cha-ching. Welcome in. I'm Jay Zawaski with Greg Boysen and Mario Tirabassi. We're here in our West Loop studios. Hawks lose 3-1 to the St. Louis Blues with our old buddy, our old pal, Brandon Saad, putting the knife in the heart on the empty netter to make it 3-1.
And Nick
late in the game. We're going to get to everything. We've got our tank standings coming up. We've got our Tankathon simulation, as we always do. We've got our DraftKings King of the Game to name later on in the show. First, we want to remind you, if you're watching on YouTube, to smash that like button. Get in that habit every time you log on to YouTube. Make it a habit to hit that like button for us. It does us. It helps us out big time when you do that. Also, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Did we hit 23,000 yet? Do we know?
We did.
All right. Way to go.
Yep.
Woo!
Let's get 24,000 by the end of the show.
Yeah.
If we do 24,000 by the end of the show, we'll do 95 tanks. We'll spend the whole hour doing tankathons.
We will simulate the entire draft.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, if you're just a traditional podcast fan, that's cool too. Make sure you're subscribed and not just streaming us as we come out. Make sure you subscribe or follow wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're feeling kind here at the end of the year, a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify would go a really long way for us, and we'd greatly appreciate that. All right, let's get to the game here, fellas. Hawks lose 3-1 in St. Louis, and kind of a weird game. The first goal the Hawks give up directly assisted by the referee, who couldn't get out of the way of Jack Johnson, who is trying to clear the puck around the boards behind the net, hits the referee's skate, comes right out in front, and the Blues score 3 minutes into the game.
Jack Johnson making the right play to play the buck around the boards.
Yeah. And then the other non-empty netter that the Blues score is just a pizza by Boris Tkachuk, who didn't bother to take a look to see if anyone was in the Blackhawks slot. But sure enough,
there you go,
there was Kelly Rosen. And, boy, you could not have – that was a Dynasty-era Patrick Kane pass to the stick tape. Just to the wrong team by Boris Tkachuk, who didn't even bother to look up and see if there was anyone there. I don't want to spoil your 3 Hawks hits, Greg, but I know Boris is a big part of it. And look, we have to qualify this all the time. Yes, the idea of this season is to lose, but raise your hand if you've seen enough of Boris Tkachuk. I'm good. Like I you know what I mean? Like I've seen enough of number 14. Nope. And what irritates me the most about it is he was hurt for a long time. His first game back, he was an effing wrecking ball, hitting everything that moved. He was getting scoring chances. He was fully engaged, and we haven't seen it since that game. So the fact that it's there, but he just chooses not to use it, that's frustrating. It's one thing to go out there and give it your best and try your hardest and fail. We can live with that. We've been seeing it all year long, and quite frankly, we haven't been really hard on the Hawks because, like we say all the time, it is just a talent issue. But this is an issue of lack of caring, lack of situational awareness. Everyone knows, if you've played hockey at any level or watch hockey for any extended period of time, that when you are in your defensive zone, you don't throw a pass blindly into the slot.
No. There's very few players in the NHL, let alone on this roster, who could get away with doing that and being effective with it. Boris Tkachuk is not one of those players. You look at the play, Colin Blackwell is who he's trying to get the puck to. He's throwing it behind him. So it wasn't even a good attempt at a blind backhand centering pass. The other thing is the puck is in the corner going along the boards going behind the Blackhawks net. He's got Caleb Jones and Jack Johnson going in that direction behind the net, and Blackwell is going to the near boards on the broadcast, to anticipating that Tkachuk is going to play the puck around the boards. All 3 of his teammates that Tkachuk has as options to pass are expecting him to do the thing he did not do. Yeah. And just play the puck around the board. It's hard to harp on a player and say that they're not trying, that they're not caring. All these guys are trying and caring. They're professionals. And I think for the most part with this team, with Luke Richardson leading this team, the GAF meters have been relatively high this year. There's been very few times where you've said, oh, this person is genuinely checked out. I know a lot of people like to say that Jonathan Toews and Patrick Kane are checked out. I don't believe that at all. But it's when you're trying to make a team that has to, when you have a team that has to be so perfect each night to be in a game, and you have to play games simple. You have to make the simple plays so that enough simple small things can build up to one good thing. When you can't do the simple small things right, or you're going out there trying to go rogue and make your own plays, that's when you have problems. And I think with Tkachuk, he's not in a position to have a lot of leash. So I know we were talking about it after that play, and it was also brought up online by Mark Lazarus after that play. The idea of at what point in this season do the Blackhawks start looking at the roster that they have in the NHL now, the guys they have in the AHL, and say, maybe we need to start giving some guys a little bit of a pat on the back from the AHL and giving these guys in the NHL a reality check. That even though this is a bad team, this is a team constructed to lose, you can't just go out there and make mistakes without consequence.
There have to be consequences. That's the thing.
And I know it was a weird night tonight. Lafferty was a game-time decision with an illness, and, you know, if he couldn't play, Entwistle was going to play even though he was banged up, and Carr was unavailable. So you had either the choice of playing a sick guy or a hurt guy. So there were no options there. But, okay, Boris Tkachuk offers nothing offensively to this team.
No.
So if you're a guy that's got some size and you can't score a goal, you need to play really good defense and be physical. He didn't do that either.
Yeah.
Not consistently enough.
No.
He has 3 points in 18 games.
Which
is more than I thought.
True. I don't remember any 3 of them. I'm assuming they're all assists, or does he have a goal?
He's got 1 goal.
Didn't he score in that game back that he came back from injury? Was it a goal in that game?
Logs.
I
can't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember.
No.
Okay.
That was against Buffalo. Was his first game back. Yeah. No, he did not.
Okay.
So he doesn't play great defense. He's not physical enough consistently. And then now, so if you can't score and you don't play great defense and you're not physical, what is it that you do here?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And the Blackhawks have enough bottom 6 guys that can do one of those 3 things.
Well, now we're starting to see the Galaxy brain version of Boris Tkachuk that's hurting you, because you go back to the Columbus Blue Jackets game right before the holiday. He takes that boarding penalty while they were up 2 goals. That ultimately didn't hurt them, but at the time, the Blue Jackets were on the. They'd scored twice in a row. They were been the better team, and he gives them a power play in the 3rd period with just a dumb penalty. And then tonight, it was the game-winning goal against that, because he just didn't. All he had to do was lift his head up in the direction he was skating. He would have saw 2 white shirts right there. Easy play. Mm-hmm. If he makes the play Jack Johnson was attempting to make on that first goal before it was...
Maybe he was spooked from that. Maybe he saw the ref in the way.
If he makes the Jack Johnson play, then they get out of that. It goes to Johnson, or it goes all the way around and Blackwell gets it. I don't know what... He's offering you nothing, and now he's hurting you. Right. So... Let's take a dip into the Rockford pool. Let's get one of these guys up there. I know Rockford is the main goal, but they've got a pretty comfortable spot. They're going to really have to turn a bad corner to miss the playoffs right now.
Yeah, and we're not saying Lucas Reichel.
No,
we're saying Slavin or somebody.
3 guys here.
3
guys that are perfect candidates to kind of play the same type of game that Tkachuk does, but actually be good and maybe contribute a little bit. Cole Gutman would be my first choice. Luke Richardson loved him in training camp. Mm-hmm. He plays that gritty bottom 6 style of hockey, gets to the dirty areas of ice, plays well defensively, and he got some offensive upside. He's got 10 goals and 18 points in 21 AHL games as a first-year pro. That's pretty impressive. He's earned a shot.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to do him, you bring up Josiah Slavin, who, big player, doesn't score a lot, but consistently plays good defense, consistently plays physical.
High character.
And has been an elite-level penalty killer in the AHL. I think he, over the past, since the start of last season, I believe he leads the AHL in shorthanded goals.
Yeah.
5, I want to say it is, between 4 or 5.
At least 4.
So
I remember 4.
Bring him up because he could do the things. He's not going to change. He's not going to help you. He's not going to screw up the tank, but he's going to give you what Boris Tkachuk doesn't, or at the very least, a guy like Mike Hardman. Remember him?
Mm-hmm.
He's still around.
Yeah.
Our second favorite 86 in Hawks history.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's a guy that will give you the energy, give you the physicalness, and maybe could score. But we know what Boris Tkachuk is at this
What
point.
about our pal Buddy Robinson?
Sure. Bring him back.
I just
He can
We
get
know what we
he can
have
get a
in
set at the
Boris
House of
Tkachuk,
Blues.
and it's a bad hockey
That's the
player.
thing. Like part of the rebuild at the NHL level is to evaluate what you have here and what you might want to keep, right? Because look, Taylor Radish has had a tough little stretch here, but he's about half a point per game. He has shown the ability. Okay, last year was not necessarily a flash in the pan. It's a guy you can envision being part of things for a few years here. Cool. Kurashev, same thing. You're going up and down the roster, right? Like Ian Mitchell, who I'm sure we're going to get to here later.
Yep.
Okay, they've given him a look. Isaac Phillips, what does he have, right? So part of that is scouting what you already have to see where it can go. I don't see anything from Boris Tkachuk that tells me, yeah, this guy has to be part of things for the next few years. No.
Yeah.
Great, you got 2 first-round picks, Radish and Tkachuk. Radish has worked out. Tkachuk is not. Great, move on. Move on. He's a guy. Like, I don't know where the loyalty is. And look, we don't know if there's going to be repercussions here. Luke has done a pretty good job of playing guys that deserve to play. And look, if Kara and or Entwistle are healthy on New Year's Eve, one of those two will probably play in his place, I would imagine.
Yeah.
But I just think big picture, I'm done with it. I don't need to see anymore. And I think maybe in the new year, we'll start to see some of these little smaller trades get made.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's there's nothing holding the Blackhawks to having to wait until March 4th to have any kind of roster overhaul or change up in the lineup. I think, you know, you threw out 3 very well-deserving names as potential call-ups from the Ice Hogs. I'd also, you know, throw in a guy like Brett Seney. Like, he's a guy who's played at the NHL level. He's doing a great job of being a veteran AHL point producer for the Ice Hogs. Give him a cookie or 2 up in the NHL and say, hey, thanks for really, you know, helping the Ice Hogs and playing well with a guy like Lucas Reichel and you know, doing your job down there. Come on up here, play in the NHL for a few games, get a couple NHL game checks, and hey, maybe do well enough to bump Boris Tkachuk out of the rotation, and you can stick up here for more games.
At
than
this
that.
point, I'd put Dylan Secure back in the lineup.
Oof, blast from the past.
Like, what's the difference? Like,
Right.
seriously.
Right.
We know what Boris Tkachuk is, and it's a bad hockey player. Like, at some point, we have to know what some of these Rockford guys are capable of at the NHL level.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Ice Hogs Calder Cup run is a goal. They want to get them as many playoff games as possible. I'm all on board with that. I know that patience with development. I'm all on board. At some point, we need something different, and we need to find out, hey, can Mark Hardman play 4 or 5 nights in a row at the NHL level and be productive? If he's not, what have you lost?
To do it
Yeah,
again,
nothing.
Yeah.
He to be able to do it again within Luke Richardson's system, because
Right.
he did have a little bit of an extended time at the NHL level in the past, but to do it now with this new coaching staff, I think is important to see.
Yeah, get him a chat there. Cole Gutman, let's see what we got in him. He's played very well. He's earned a shot. Josiah Slavin, another guy that in small doses has looked like he can handle the NHL. Let's see what he can do in Luke Richardson's system. I think he'd be a very effective player in Luke Richardson's system. we got to know what these guys are at some point. So let's you don't have to bring up Josiah Slavin for the rest of the season. Bring him up, let him play 4 or 5 games, and then bring up Gutman, let him play 4 or 5 games. Then bring up Hardman 4 or 5. Start rewarding those guys in Rockford for doing a good job down there with some playing time in the NHL, and get kind of like a little rotation going of those guys just to see what you have.
Yeah.
We know what we have in Tkachuk, and I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
I want to give it back.
It's a no-risk evaluation. None of those guys ruin the tank either.
No.
I want to acknowledge Nick and his $5 super chat.
Thank you,
He
Nick.
says, y'all have to watch this-ish when I can just turn it off. Appreciate you all very much. Thank you, Nick. Look, man, we love our jobs, win or lose. So you don't have to convince us to be here.
I love my job minus the 2.5 hours a night that we actually have to watch this team play. Other than that, it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, I had a family member over the holidays say, how's the job going? You still like it? And I said, I watch hockey for a living. I'm happy.
Yeah.
I'll do this till I'm 70, 75.
Yep.
However long CHGO wants to exist and wants to have me, I'll friggin' do this.
Yep.
Our friend Region Rev says, I'm sober 34 years. If Blackhawks past didn't make me drink, this season won't. Although my water bottle is always full. Yeah, we appreciate the continued support, Region Rev. And yeah, I hear you on that one. It's a tough season to watch, but we're gonna spend some more time on this later. But if you've not been watching the World Juniors, you've been missing some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Connor Bedard, over his last 2 games, has 13 points.
Yeah. He's rather good at the hockey. And yes, Canada played Germany and Austria, but
good day, mate.
You still have to go out there and play the games, and Bedard has been awesome.
Yes.
In a word.
Yeah, he has. Just to show you, our buddy Cam Robinson, who we had on the show a few days ago, let me bring that up real quick. He tweeted out that in his draft year, Connor McDavid had 3 goals and 11 points in 7 World Junior games. Connor Bedard has 6 goals and 14 points in 3.
Yeah,
and he only had 1 point in that loss.
And he had the goal. So
and if you go watch, another spoiler alert, I'm featuring Connor Bedard in our 3 Hawks hits tonight too, because there wasn't more than 2 things to talk about in this game, and I want to end on a high note. It's my last one of 2022. I want to get people feeling better. Watch the highlights. The 2 goals he scored tonight. The first was just a ridiculous shot from like the Patrick Kane Philadelphia spot on the ice, but just goes top shelf right over the shoulder, placed it perfectly. Ridiculous shot. And then the second goal was while he was falling down, and he still puts a shot on the net. And he's got 14 career World Junior goals for Team Canada, tying Jordan Eberle for the most ever.
And most by a Canadian in their World Juniors career.
Right. And he may double that by the end of the tournament. He's going to shatter that record.
And he's still eligible for 2 more?
2 more.
This is probably his last one.
This is probably his last one. But if
Blackhawks are not going to let
him whatever
go
whatever NHL team drafted him for whatever reason allowed him to play in the next 2 World Juniors, he could. He is 4 points behind Eric Lindros for the most points by a Canadian in their World Juniors career.
So he'll have that by the end of the first period in the next game.
I think their next game is Sweden.
Yeah,
so that's
a little tougher.
Tough test.
He's got to go up against Victor Schoenberg, my friend.
Yeah.
He will be shut down.
And as far as Blackhawks prospects, tonight's game was pretty fruitful. Colton Dock had a primary assist. Nolan Allen recovered from his blown tire and face into the goalpost to score a goal. So some Blackhawks were getting on the score sheet tonight, which was good to see. It wasn't just the Connor Bedard show. And Adam Fantilli scored his first goal of the tournament too.
Yes, he did.
Good things for the Canadians, and Team USA won too. So hey, go Team USA.
Got another $5 super chat from Windy City Hockey. Says,
thank you.
Kachuk gets tank commander of the night. Man, he sucks. This is an idea, Steven. As we have got the king of the game, the tank commander of the night.
I like this.
It's pretty solid too. And
that's pretty good.
I'm just picturing the Animal House tank. and just put a face over Donald Sutherland.
There you go.
Yeah, it's that could be fun.
Can we get a face spinning on the tank when we do the standings? The face of the player.
yeah. It's
that honor definitely goes.
It's an idea.
To Tkachuk
That's
tonight
for sure. Kayla chiming in. Do you guys know anything about Arvid Soderblom's injury? That's a good question. No. It's vague at this point. But it does seem like he is certainly probably not seriously injured.
I don't think it's serious.
Banged up a little bit.
If you didn't hear it, about a little over 6 minutes into last night's game against Grand Rapids, which they ultimately won, Arvid skated to the bench and was taken out of the game, replaced by Jackson Stauber, and then they recalled Mitchell Weeks from the ECHL, the Indy Fuel. So that tells me that Arvid won't be available, at least for Friday night's game. They got the Wolves back home and home Friday and Saturday against the Chicago Wolves. So Anders Sorensen was asked after the game, and he said he didn't have an update. There's been nothing today. They didn't practice today, so there was no, and when they put their press release out that Weeks had been called up, there was no update. So I don't think it's anything super serious. As I said, he kind of skated. It could have been one of those things where he just tweaked something, didn't feel right, and they're just going to be, a little cautious on that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens this weekend. They won last night 4-1. David Gust had his second hat trick of the season. He's got 17 goals and 17 assists for number 17.
Pretty consistent.
That's another guy I would love to see.
Yeah, well, somebody mentioned that in the comment. Was it Windy City Hockey?
Yeah, give him an NHL contract.
He's an NHL contract. We were talking about that while ignoring the Blackhawks Blues tonight. I would like to see. I think Scott Powers said earlier this year that might be something they consider. Sign him to a NHL contract late in the year. Mm-hmm. He's an Oak Lawn native.
Just like me.
Let him let him suit up for the home regular season finale.
Sure.
And say, hey, here's 20 tickets. Call all your cousins and uncles and aunts and get them up here, and we're going to give you your NHL game. What harm is that? Yeah. And then send them back down to Rockford for the Calder Cup playoffs. The cool thing about this is why I love sports and stats. So Gus scored his 17th goal of the season to complete his hat trick. Also has 17 assists. He wears number 17, and the 17th goal came at the exact 17-minute mark of the third period.
That's awesome.
Yeah. 17s were wild in Rockford last night.
Absolutely. A couple of people in the chat asking why Wyatt Kalnick and Nicholas Bodine are not playing for the Blackhawks, and they're playing in the Spengler Cup because they're no longer Blackhawks.
Where have you been?
Bodine is a Montreal Canadian, and Kalnick is a Vancouver Canuck. So there you go.
They are no longer in the action, and they are.
Would you also like to know why Chris DiDomenico is no longer with the organization either?
They are no longer with the organization, and they are not NHL caliber players. That's why they are playing in Switzerland. I do want to cover that Spengler Cup once. Have you seen the?
I prefer the Bankman Cup,
dude.
Have you seen the rink that they play that in?
It looks so nice,
it's
and
like this half indoor, outdoor, like barn looking thing. I would love to.
Got my joke.
Send me
awesome.
I did get it. It just wasn't very good. It was a Ghostbusters reference. I got it.
Right.
I chose to ignore it.
Acknowledge me.
I chose to ignore it.
All right, fine.
No,
you're
but
probably right too.
I on Instagram I still follow some of those guys, Kalanick and Baudin, and they were posting pictures of Davos, Switzerland, and it's beautiful. What?
I'm sorry. Lebowski 5 says, "Why aren't you guys talking about Sean Lalonde?"
That's
a fair point. Yeah,
that's a good one. Anyway,
what's Dylan Olsen up to these days?
Yeah, really. All right, let's regroup and tell you all about some meat. You know we love meat, especially me, a big fan of it. Brought some today for the fellas, not Green Ridge Farm, but some other meats. But because we're fully stocked up on our Green Ridge Farm,
they're telling us to take it home.
Yeah, those amazing meat sticks. They want you to try those, and they're making it very easy. Stay tuned to find out how. Green Ridge Farm is a Chicago local meat and cheese company, and they always offer you a better all-natural option. They've got the wonderful deli meats that I get every time I go to the grocery store. They are the only deli meat I buy anymore because it's that damn good with tons of varieties. But those meat sticks are so freaking good. 16 grams of protein per stick, all natural, hardwood smoked for 8 hours. They come in chicken, Black Forest beef, jalapeno cheddar, and spicy chili. If you haven't tried them, do it. They are freaking amazing. I know you can get the big package of them at Costco and Sam's Club, but you can go into your Jewels or your Pete's or wherever and find those meat sticks there too. Or if you want to get some free meat sticks, very easy to do. Go to greenridgefarm.com, add any 3 meat products to your cart and a pack of meat sticks, and if you use the code CHGO at checkout, those meat sticks will be free. So again, order any 3 meat products at greenridgefarm.com, include a pack of meat sticks in your cart. The meat sticks will be free with the code CHGO at checkout. I'm telling you, if you guys try these, you're going to love them. The spicy chili is my favorite, but they're all delicious. Go get them. greenridgefarm.com. Green Ridge Farm, simply natural meat.
And you know what else we love besides meat here? We love saving money on tickets to events and things.
It's true.
And when we want to go to an event or
Events
a
and
thing,
stuff.
we call up our buddies over at Game Time. Game Time is the hottest new ticketing site that makes it easier than ever to score the best deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. Ever dreamed of sitting in a seat you never thought you could?
All the time.
Yes, I do. You ever think of, like, hey, what would it be like to sit, like, right behind the Blackhawks bench and hear Luke Richardson swear all night? Or what would it be like to sit in between the, like, right by the penalty boxes and squirt water on people?
And Ty Domi kicks
Ty
your
Domi
ass.
Yeah,
beats you up.
drag you into the
Or
penalty
Steve
box.
Sullivan hits you with a puck.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's one of my favorite
Just as
ones,
long
too.
as Sam Hentages is not playing, you're gonna be
okay.
fine.
He's too stinky. Anyway, no matter where you want to sit, Game Time can help you out. They've got this really cool interactive United Center map where you could choose a section. It shows you what your view is going to be.
Yeah, Steven's showing you
And-
right now
exactly.
on the YouTube.
And
$9 to see the Sabres.
yes, I'm looking up some of the deals right now.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, I understand why, but the Sabres are kind of fun. You can see Jay's favorite new player, Tage Thompson, for $9. Calgary Flames are in town January 8th, $16.
Not bad.
Under $20 to see the reigning Stanley Cup champ Colorado Avalanche, or as I called them the other night, Mikko Rantanen, Cale Makar, and the Colorado Eagles are essentially what they are now. But they're there's some good deals. Hey, speaking of the tank standings, February 7th, that's a big game against the Anaheim Ducks. You can get into that game for $10 right now.
Ooh.
Lots of good deals for under $20 over at Game Time. The best part is, if you find a price better on another one, on another secondary site,
Doubt it.
let Game Time know. They'll match it. That's why they're the best at what they do. You will not find a better deal this season on Blackhawks tickets. Game Time's created by the fans, for the fans, guarantees the lowest price on any event that you want to go to. And if you love CHGO, and you wouldn't if you're here. You obviously love us.
Thank you.
Then you'll love Game Time.
Even if you hate Watch Us, you'll still
Right.
love Game Time.
Hey, we're doing you a favor. We're watching the Blackhawks so you don't have to.
Yeah, that's what Nick said.
Best way to support us is by buying your tickets through the link in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, smash that giant thumbs up button, and right below that, you're going to see a link to Game Time. Use that anytime you want to buy tickets to any event, be it a concert, a play, a Blackhawks game, and join over 15 million people who have used Game Time to score the greatest deals on earth when it comes to tickets.
Earth.
They're the best. And speaking of CHGO, we got cool stuff going on. If you didn't know already, and if you're not a diehard, you might want to jump on that. Why? Well, you get a free shirt or hat immediately upon sign up.
Free hat,
you get a new free hat or shirt every year upon renewal. You get discounts on our takeovers. Maybe one of those is happening soon. You might want to take advantage of. Our tailgates are everything we do, all our events. You'll get a discount. So if you plan on being an active CHGO fan, and if you're watching CHGO Blackhawks after yet another loss, it's safe to assume you are. being a diehard makes a lot of sense. Go to allchgo.com for all the information on how to sign up. There's also gift subscription. So if you're looking for a present for that hard-to-buy for sports fan in your life, that makes a great plan too. And if you want to check out our merch, CHGOLocker.com is the place to be, and we have previewed some sweet new designs that are coming around the corner. So keep your eye on CHGOLocker.com, and of course we've got our legendary 81 design available at the CHGO Locker as well. Represent one of the finest defensive forwards in the history of the organization, and a friend of the show, good old number 81. You know him, you love him. CHGOLocker.com. We've got a poll question that I failed to promote. Sorry. The poll question is, which Blackhawks rival do you hate the most? The Blues, the Red Wings, the Predators, and the Wild. Fellas, are you looking at this? Do you want to venture a guess without cheating?
I'm going to go with the Blues.
As am I going to go with the Blues. A lot of people hate the Blues.
The Blues are well ahead. They've got 48% of the vote.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to rank Red Wings, Predators, Wild in terms of where you think they would be?
I'm going to say it's Blues, Wings, Wild, and Predators.
I'm going to go Blues, Predators, Wings, Wild.
Greg's got it. 48% for the Blues, 26% for the Predators, 24% for the Red Wings, and only 2% for the Wild. I guess with the Wild, they really haven't ever been in the Hawks' way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Hawks have always beaten them in important playoff series, and
Wild fans hate the Blackhawks way more.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Packers and Bears. Packer fans don't care about Bears at all because they own us.
It is interesting, though, to see the number tick up for Nashville. Because forever, Nashville felt like, oh, well, they really hate the Blackhawks, but it's like, we don't care about them at all.
Right.
All of a sudden, I think all of that has sort of caught up with Hawks fans, and they're like, what is with these people?
They're just annoying.
Guys.
It's got nothing to do with the team.
I was going to say, I think it's the fan base.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of caught, like you said, it's kind of caught up. And I think the fan base has just become, it's the mosquito that keeps swinging by your ear.
Yeah.
And you're like, Jesus, I got to hear about the stupid catfish again.
Yeah,
like
the stupid catfish, which is unoriginal. The keep the red out, whatever. Let's smash a car with the opponent's logo out front. Like it's lame. It's
high school homecoming.
It's minor league, bush league stuff. Their chants. It's just
it's all your fault. To the goalie.
Yeah, it's
like,
just an annoying. It's an annoying franchise that have the worst uniforms in the league.
Yeah, I actually kind of like the Wild. I don't know. They got
I don't
good
hate
players.
the Wild.
They got exciting players. I like their uniforms.
The thing is, I think
they're not the North Stars.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's Minnesota and Chicago. That hated rivalry was with the North Stars. So when Minnesota came back, but as the Wild, the exact history really wasn't there. Kind of the same thing with like. You talk about, well, the Winnipeg Jets actually are the Coyotes, and the Winnipeg Jets now were the Thrashers. So it's just weird.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
But I am glad to see the Predators rivalry picking up steam, because why not, right? It's and I'm glad there's still a certain percentage of Hawks fans that still hate the Red Wings. I have found myself kind of like, I don't want to say missing the Red Wings.
I miss the Red Wings.
But I miss the rivalry.
Yeah.
I miss
like, because now when they come to town, it's not even a thing anymore. I don't feel the hatred. I don't feel the anger. It's like they're just kind of another team now, another original six team like the Rangers or the Canadiens or whatever. I look forward to when they come, but that hatred is just not there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never thought I would say that.
It's more fun to see the Blackhawks play the Red Wings now. It's less of like there's no grudge there. It's just Blackhawks Red Wings. That's fun. Nice old hey shoving buddy, shoving buddy. Hey, remember the old days?
Right.
Yeah, that's what it feels like now.
It's interesting.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'm a couple of people saying they voted. Jamie says he voted Preds. Windy City Hockey says I hate Trashville. Nate says he hates the Preds. I'm telling you, that annoying fan base is catching up with that team.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it is obnoxious. It's all your fault chant to the goalie. You should just chant, I don't know hockey. I don't know hockey. It's because what percentage of the time is it the goalie's fault?
Yeah, it's like high school basketball crap.
Yeah.
It's like it's bush league.
Yeah.
It's bush league.
But Nashville, it will be a fun time. for the draft this year.
Yep.
I believe the intent is for us to be there.
Yep. No roids, no rage, or just whatever it is. No roids, just rage. Our buddy earlier said he's going to be watching the draft with us. I don't know if we're going to be the live first round because there's a really good chance the three of us will be in Nashville for the draft. Mm-hmm. So I don't think the whole live watch-along show would be possible from down there. But
we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. We'll definitely do some shows, hopefully from Nashville. And that's going to be a real fun time, especially if the Hawks are drafting number 1. We'll be able to get access to the picks right off the bat. And I think it's going to be really good for us as a network and the three of us, as reporters, because the networking capabilities down there, like everybody is going to be there. Every outlet, every major reporter, writer, broadcaster is going to be out there, and they're all going to be hanging out at Tootsie's after the first round. So
Nashville in the summertime.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. So we'll see. We'll see when it comes to we're definitely going to give you the best draft coverage for the Blackhawks anywhere.
Yeah,
it's just
no doubt about that.
I don't know if we'll be able to do it like we did last year, even though that was a real fun night and following day. So we'll see how that goes. But no matter what, I can promise you, no matter how we package it, nobody will have better draft coverage than we will.
We will make it the best.
It's going to be awesome. And you said package. And the more we watch Bedard, it's like the more obsessed I'm becoming with that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is like, you've seen highlights, you've seen glimpses, maybe you catch a game online, which is never the same. But to see it like on the big screen here or at home, to see the stuff this kid is doing, seemingly with very little effort. Not saying he's not trying, but just like he just makes everything look so easy.
Yeah.
I don't know. And look, if they get Adam Fantilli, I'm going to be thrilled too.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my God. This kid is otherworldly.
Wrote about it in the latest rebuild report, which you could find at allchgo.com. Become a diehard to get access to that. Greg and I breaking down the Blackhawks prospect system, all their draft prospects, and all the draft eligible players that you can be sure to keep an eye on. I wrote about it, and I wrote about Connor Bedard in that way of just like I want him. I am fully in the boat of this season. The goal is Connor Bedard, and I am onto that track of nothing is really there. I've been shown nothing to believe that the Blackhawks are in jeopardy of ruining the tank in any way possible. I believe the Coyotes are doing their job of getting out of the tank standings, which is great. I think Anaheim is an awful team, but look, I watched the Blackhawks. What was this, game 34 this year of the season? 35, 34. I've watched this team for 35, 34 games. You cannot convince me that this is not the worst team in the NHL.
No.
And they are going to continue to be the worst team in the NHL.
The roster's going to get worse.
The roster is going to lose talent.
Significantly worse.
And they're going to have the best odds at landing the top overall pick. And I fully believe in all of that happening. And I fully believe that come June 23rd, is that? I believe that's the day one of the draft, June 23rd. I believe that the Blackhawks are going to get Connor Bedard. So watching Connor Bedard in this World Junior Championship, the rest of the season in the WHL, whatever he does, I'm watching it through the lens of that is who the Blackhawks are fully going for. If they land number 2 with Adam Fantilli, I will be okay with that. If they land number 3, you get a little itchy. But the projections, the simulations, the trajectory, whatever you want to talk about, the Blackhawks are on that path to having the worst record in the league, having the best odds at the top overall pick, and I am looking at Connor Bedard as squarely the prospect that the Blackhawks are going for, and I haven't been this excited for a prospect that the Blackhawks could be in line for. Because there have been, early first-round prospects that the Blackhawks were in play for, mid-first-round prospects, late first-round prospects, all that. Truly, since Patrick Kane, There has not been a prospect I have been this freaking excited for. And I know there's a less than 20% chance that they land him, but I'm living in that 18.5% chance.
Yeah.
Because what other option do you want to have right now? Do you want to live in the other 70? 70 so on. I can't do math live. Percent chance. Do you want to live in that just to say, I told you not to get so hyped up? Cool. Like, is that the mentality? I want to live in the world where you can get excited about the future, get excited about Connor Bedard. Like, I want to live in that world.
Yeah,
and that was the attitude I had with the rebuild report.
Well, in Lebowski 5 says, haven't been this excited since Kane, but the thing with that was like that draft lottery win was kind of like a pretty decent jump for the Hawks.
Yeah, I think they went from like 8th to 1st.
Yeah, it wasn't like the whole season leading up to that possibility like this is. And now
there was a lot of discussion that Kane wasn't the consensus number 1 pick.
That's right.
People were making a case for James Van Riemdijk and Kyle Turris.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't like it is with Bedard. For 2 years, you've been like, this is the guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's like we said yesterday. Had Bedard been in last year's draft, he'd be number 1 overall last year. Mm-hmm. So he's that good of a prospect, and you're seeing him on the biggest stage that he can possibly play on right now until the Memorial Cup comes around. And then
if they get there,
right, they're not going to, but
he still might get traded.
Yeah,
maybe. We'll see.
Anytime a general manager says, I'm not trading this guy as much as Regina's team has, it means he's probably getting traded.
Probably.
All right, we haven't done our 4 stars of the game yet, so let's do that.
No, we've barely talked about this.
Well, good. Let's do this. Let's do the 4 stars. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and we'll get all the tank stuff in for you. How about that?
All right.
Sound good?
I would also like to touch a little bit on the Isaac Phillips, Ian Mitchell little discussion there if we want to take some time. Because Luke Richardson had an interesting comment about Isaac Phillips after today's game.
Excellent. Let's do the 4 stars, and we'll get to it. All right, the 3 stars of the game. Number 3 for the St. Louis Blues, Calle Rosen. He had a goal and 3 block shots. Braden Shen, the number 2 star of the game, 11 shots on goal, 15 shot attempts, and 3 takeaways in 17.5 minutes.
He shot his shot.
No points, but 15 shot attempts. That's a good game. And a number 1 star, confirmed Pudwack, Jordan Binnington, with 21 saves. So they're all St. Louis Blues, as you would expect. Home game win. That's how it goes. My 4 star of the game is Alex Stalock, who stopped 26 of 28 saves, clearly solidifying, in my mind, his place as the Blackhawks de facto starter until he is not. I just think that he kept them in the game, as he's done pretty much every game he's played in this year, made some saves he had no business playing, and he's just fun to watch. So keep him in there.
He's
and I know Luke said before the game today that they'll sort of figure out what's next in goal. I think you got to put Stalock in there again. I really do.
Well, they got back-to-backs coming up, so
yeah, we'll see both.
I would say Mrazek starts in Columbus because I think Stalock would want to play against his former team, the Sharks, on Sunday.
Yeah, why not?
True.
So
this is from Taylor Radish on Alex Stalock. The way he works out there, it's kind of cool to see a goalie give it his all like that. Whether it's his style or whatever, it's awesome to see he's battling every play. So we want to play hard in front of him. He gives us a chance to win every night. That quote coming from Mark Lazarus, Taylor Radish on Alex Stalock.
Yeah.
All right. Steven, can you put my guy up? Because I forgot who I picked. Oh, yeah, Jason Dickinson, that guy.
J-Dick?
Yeah,
Dicky.
Dicky. Good old Dicky.
Is this
yeah.
back-to-back Dickinson picks for you?
Not for me.
I had him last time.
Oh, yeah.
I picked the Dick last game.
Second, yeah. Jay was the Dick guy last show. It's my honor tonight.
We're 12.
Yes, we are. Dicky had 3 shots on goal, 5 total shot attempts, 2 hits, a takeaway, a block shot, and he won 4 out of 5 faceoffs.
Not bad.
That's the kind of stat line that this whole segment was created for.
Mm-hmm.
Hear that, other GMs?
And he was really effective on the penalty kill too. The Blues got that power play late in the first period when it was still tied, and him and Sam Lafferty kind of created that early season magic and kept the puck down in the St. Louis end and had a couple of scoring chances. So, Jason Dickinson, he's been pretty good. He was one of the few guys that noticeable tonight. By the way, 3 shots on goal tied him with Jack Johnson for the most on the team tonight. When Jack Johnson and Jason Dickinson are leading your teams on shot and goals,
it's that kind of game.
You're getting the number 1 overall damn pick.
I got to laugh at Jamie who says, you got to love Stalock. I was actually hoping he'd go down and beat the bag out of Binnington. I said the same thing during the game. Maybe Stalock will fight Binnington
There's still 2 more games against them. There's still a chance.
Love it.
Can't stand Jordan Binnington.
No, we need to fill his diaper one of these
pretty
2
full already.
He'll do it for himself.
He'll take care of it.
Yeah.
We made it too easy on him tonight.
My 4th star of the night is another person that this segment was made specifically for, Jake McCabe. Yep. Had a good game tonight. Wasn't a minus, so there you go. 1 shot on net, 3 hits, 1 block recorded. I believe he had at least 2 blocks, so I'll have to check out with the stat takers there. 19 minutes, 53 seconds of ice time. Just a solid effort from him. Another guy who I think is a player a lot like a Stalock who is going to go out there and just give it his all every night. And as we talk about, this Blackhawks team losing players, he's a name that has been thrown out there as potentially someone who a team that needs defensive help could look at. But he would be one that it would sting a little bit to lose him because I think the presence he brings in the locker room, yep, on the bench, on the ice, I think is a important part, and is someone who's on a longer term contract for the next 2 seasons after this one. I don't think he's a bad guy to keep around as the roster turns over and gets a little bit younger. But solid game from him tonight in a losing effort.
He's that dude that can be there every night.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm fine
Love
with
Jake McCabe. All right. Want to talk about the old shades there, my friend?
I suppose. They're paying for it.
And they rule.
And they're the best sunglasses on the market.
Damn sunglasses.
And of course, we were talking
this
about
side of the Mississippi.
Yes, and the other side, too. We're talking about Shady Rays, who never understood why sunglasses were so expensive. So, by golly, they went out and changed it. You don't have to break the bank for quality sunglasses this winter because our friends at Shady Rays have you and your precious eyeballs covered. Shady Rays are premium Polaroid shades featuring world-class optical clarity, substantial durability, and styles cater to everyone and every lifestyle. The best part about Shady Rays, it's that really insane protection program we love to talk about.
Insane.
If you lose or break your shades on day 1, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. No matter how you break or lose them, they'll replace them. Even with that strong of a protection program, they still manage to make quality that I can tell you from wearing them for the past couple of years. They're just as good, if not better, than any of those expensive brands on the market. Shady Rays also does something very cool. For every purchase, they will donate 10 meals to fight hunger in America, and they've donated over 20 million meals to date. They stand behind the product, and they have told us that if anyone has a problem, they will throw profit right out the giant test window at the Shady Rays factory. They will do whatever it takes to get it right. Free returns and exchanges. You either love the shades or Shady Rays will pay to ship them back. That is it. And exclusive for our CHGO listeners who we love and adore, Shady Rays is running their deepest deal of the season. Use the promo code CHGO at checkout, and you're going to receive 50% off any order of 2 or more pairs at ShadyRays.com. That's buy one, get one free. You can get 2 pairs of awesome sunglasses for as low as $54. You can redeem only at ShadyRays.com, where you can find all their newest and best shades.
Hey, do you like cornhole? Do you live in the Chicagoland and Illinois areas in the last 15 years? Then you might have heard about Chi-Town Custom Cornhole, the #1 cornhole provider for the Chicagoland and Illinois areas since 2007. They are the official cornhole sponsors of CHGO here, and they bring you the best cornhole designs Top quality, looking good. Their signature box styles, designs can be digitally printed, covered in vinyl, and painted to your liking. They come with built-in drink holders, which is beautiful because when you're playing cornhole, you don't want to have a drink in your other hand. You got to have your balance out right. So you got to have the bag in one hand and the other hand free. Keep the drink in the drink holder. Chi-Town Custom Cornhole, they've thought of everything. They also have the LED lights in the hole. So when the game goes long into the night, in the wee hours of the morning, you can keep on cornholing, keep the light on, and you'll be able to see the hole nice and bright. There's also handles on the boards to carry them because they are handcrafted out of sturdy, fine, pristine, high-quality wood and materials. They're handcrafted. They also got the scorekeepers back there, so you don't have to do the mental math. You can just keep score right there at the back of the cornhole boards. They're also veteran-owned and operated, which is awesome. They can ship anywhere, and they offer local pickups. So if you want to ship them to whoever you want, send a cornhole set to your friend across the country, they can do that. And if you live right down the block, you can go pick it up. They can fit any need that you got. They specialize in corporate designs for your company's next marketing or social events. They make great wedding gifts, great birthday gifts, especially for those tailgaters and barbecuers in your life. You can get them a beautiful Chi-Town custom cornhole set. So check out their website, chitowncornhole.com, and make sure you are following them on Instagram to see all of their designs and their fine work at Chi-Town Custom Cornhole Boards. I am sorry for being 12 years old.
No, you can't help it.
Keep on cornholing.
And you're actually 12 years old. Me and Greg don't have an excuse.
Mm-hmm.
Keep on cornholing. That was my favorite Boston song.
Yeah. All right, now it's time for the DraftKings King of the Game. You'll never guess who we chose.
Oh, Alex Stalock.
That's right. It was Alex Stalock. 2 goals against, 26 saves, a .929 save percentage, and a whole lot of fun wearing his mask inspired by Nope. Does not. I don't think he's broken out the Harry Carey mask yet, has he?
Not
we see that in the
yet.
game yet?
I don't think so.
We'll see. It looks good. If you want to see it, go check out our social media.
Maybe
at
he
CHGO
heard people mention that was the hologram of Harry Carey, and he's getting it redone.
It was definitely the hologram Harry, but it's still a cool helmet. We appreciate it. So he is our DraftKings King of the Game. Congratulations to Alex Stalock. And hockey fans, light the lamp this winter with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. New customers can bet just $5 pregame money line on any NHL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do. If that wasn't enough, you can turn small bets into bigger payouts with same game parlays like I did. Bet $5 today before the game for the Blues to score first and win. Look at me. I got money. Combine multiple bets like which team will win, how many goals will be scored, and more for your shot at an even bigger payout. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the promo code CHGO. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win their game and get $150 in free bets if they do, only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. And I know we want to get into Isaac Phillips and Ian Mitchell here before we wrap up the show. What is our like situation right now, Steven? We got 44.
We're at 44, yeah.
All right, 55 likes gets us an extra spin.
Ooh, shooting high.
55. Yeah. I want 11 more likes before we spin the draft sim.
Let's get a Kevin Korchinski number of likes.
Here's something you might like.
Ooh.
Empty net goal for the Coyotes. They lead 5-3 with 2 minutes to play. They might be falling out of the tank standings.
If I'm not mistaken, that would knock them out of the tank standings.
That would
fully knock them out.
Bye, Coyotes.
Don't worry, they're going to get Austin Matthews in a few years.
Shh, we're mean to them. Don't be mean to the Coyotes.
Austin, you want to come play
so
in
mean
front
on
of
the Coyotes,
in front of 5,000 people?
Stop insulting all 7 of their fans.
That's so bad. It's just sad, though. He's from here. He's going to want to play or no, he's not.
I don't believe he will.
No.
He's going to look really good skating next to Connor Bedard in 2 seasons.
Yeah.
In a Blackhawks sweater.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you were paying attention to Blackhawks Twitter today, you saw Mark Lazarus put out a piece where he talked with Ian Mitchell and Mitchell had some comments that you don't necessarily hear too often about, thinking that he would have more of an opportunity to prove himself than he did or than he has so far this year. He's a player that we've had some discussions with some people that have really focused in on him and his game. And coming into this season before being injured, I think he had a big opportunity to be an NHL regular. Getting injured kind of put him behind in that opportunity. And then when he did get back to being on the ice and being healthy, he was in Rockford. And he got up to the NHL this season, and he's been in and out of the lineup. He's a player that's on an expiring deal, 23 years old. At this point, I think there is reason to say keep playing him, see what you have in him. I think this team believes they know what they have in him, and I think what they believe that they have in him is something that we've said on the show before about Ian Mitchell. It's kind of like another Adam Clendening, like a guy who, if you need him to play at the NHL level, he can do it, but he's just going to be a pretty good AHLer and be kind of a career tweener. And he can be upset with not getting the opportunities. I'm partially upset that we're still seeing Caleb Jones over him.
Yeah, or give Jack Johnson a break.
Or, eventually Jack Johnson can't play 20 minutes a night, and at the age that he's at this stage in his career, he's you don't want to hope for it, but you think a physical breakdown could happen at some point. So give him some time off. But what we have seen a lot of is Isaac Phillips in the last couple of games, which is good. And today, Phillips had a decent game, and Luke Richardson after the game pointed out the play that the game that he had. This is from Ben Pope. Said Richardson shouted out Isaac Phillips unprompted. Said Hawks had a 10-7 scoring chance advantage with Phillips on the ice, which he played 14 minutes and 16 seconds tonight. Quote from Richardson: "We were much harder in one-on-one battles, especially Phillips. He was really good in the corners and being aggressive."
Moment in the game there where he lost the puck at the blue line and then was able to get back, chase down. I think it might have been Shen, actually. Chase down the Blues player.
It was Shen, yeah.
Position himself in front of him to take the puck away and not take the penalty. A lot of moments, too, like Richardson said, though, just standing the guy up at the blue line, forcing him off the puck, those sort of things. I'm seeing a lot from Isaac Phillips here, and I think the Hawks have identified him as someone with a future in this organization. Now, Ian Mitchell, I thought it was telling before the game, Luke says, we want guys who are big and that can skate. That's 0 for 2 on Ian Mitchell.
Yeah.
For an offensive defenseman, he's not a great skater. He doesn't have a lot of speed. He's probably average to slightly above, but he's not a speed burner by any means, and we've said this about him a lot. What is he really good at? Isaac Phillips is big, and he can defend, and he's got some speed. Ian Mitchell is not enough of a scorer to justify having him up here struggling defensively. That said, I want him playing until he's not a Blackhawk anymore, right? If he's up here from Rockford, he should be playing every game. Yeah. Why? Figure out what you've got for sure. Showcase him around the league. And there's just no point in, like you said, why do we need to see more Caleb Jones? No disrespect to Jack Johnson, but he is like the worst, metric player in hockey this year. Great leader, all those things. He was really great. I forgot who wrote it, but I think it was Lazarus again. Had great stuff about going through a tough season. Great to have the guy around. But if you scratch Jack Johnson now and again, he's not going to throw a shit fit. He knows what the reality of this is.
Right.
He knows where the team's at, where he's at. That's not going to be an issue. I don't know. I think for Ian Mitchell to just sit is stupid. Either send him to Rockford and call up a forward or play him. I think that's the only way to do it.
Yeah. I think, unfortunately, Mitchell is not part of the long-term plans here. And he'll get a look from other teams, but he just might be that guy that's really good AHL player, just has got that half a step too slow to really be effective in the NHL.
Yep. All right, good stuff. Let's get to the tank situations before we wrap the show up. We need 55 likes for that extra spin. Let's go. Let's get them. We need 4 more. Do it. All right, here are your tank standings. And like we said, the Arizona Coyotes are not in them.
6-3 final. They added another empty
Oh,
netter.
yeah.
There you go. Blackhawks leading the tank standings as usual, 20 points in 34 games. Columbus with 22 and 34. Anaheim with 24 and 36. They got a nice win last night. San Jose 28 and 36. And the Flyers 29 and 35.
Sharks and Flyers are playing against each other right now, and they are tied in the third period. Get that game to overtime.
Love it.
Baby.
Yes.
Get the game to overtime, and who cares who wins?
Do that for sure.
Blue
So there you
Jackets
go.
and Blackhawks play each other Saturday afternoon,
Yeah.
12 noon. We will be on the air with a remote post-game show, but we'll still bring you the post-game show as we wind down the hours of 2022. So that's a big one. I say put Peter Mrazek out there, and let's see what happens in Columbus.
There you go.
As I keep saying, Anaheim, I don't think is going to be there for the duration of the year. They're finally got their young goalie. He's getting them some wins. They're going to distance themselves. Columbus has got a ton of guys hurt, and Korpisalo has actually played nice the last couple games. So if he can start to play well in goal, they get a couple guys back like Boone Jenner, like Jacob Voracek. Maybe they're not as bad either.
Well, the other thing, too, is like the Hawks are really the only team not trying to be better. Like Arizona's, they're trying to begin that upward trajectory. They want that arrow pointed up. Philly was trying to win.
Columbus didn't sign Johnny Gaudreau to get Connor Bedard.
Right.
Anaheim had legit, like
I picked him to be a playoff team.
and that was not
They
an
went and
absurd
got
I'm also
John.
an idiot.
They went and got John Klingberg.
Yeah, he's
Right.
going to bring a nice return at the deadline.
That will be nice for him to get a first-round pick for him. Maybe not a first, maybe a second, but still. The Hawks are the ones trying to lose and are going to get significantly worse, while those other teams are not. None of those teams are going to be selling off their top talent like the Blackhawks will be. So I'm pretty secure in feeling like the Hawks are going to end the season with the worst record.
They
Which
are
means you got to
the.
shave your beard, right?
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm
You
glad.
guys-
Yes, that's true.
it's real bad. I'm warning you. You might not want that.
You know,
I might have to double down on something.
maybe that will teach you to be an optimist around here, mister.
Yeah, I know.
Be an optimist and cheer for this
And
team
cheer
to
against
lose.
the team you loved. Yeah. All right. We need one more like for that second spin. I'm not. 54 is not enough. Let's get the first spin out of the way, though. This is courtesy of our friends at tankathon.com. Now, remember, they go by the points per game percentage, so they do not necessarily reflect the current tank standings that we show you.
We did get the like, by the way.
All right, let's do it. So we got two
Hey.
spins
We
here
got two.
at the draft lottery simulator, tankathon.com. So let's give it a spin, Steven.
Sim it up.
Ooh,
Back to that
Montreal
three.
with the number 1 pick, San Jose and Chicago. Ugh, that's bad. All right. I'm glad we got one more. Let's do it.
Do not accept these results.
There it is.
That's a reset button.
damn
Three
it.
sets, sorry.
Damn it.
Chalk.
Here we go.
Ugh, San Jose, Anaheim, Chicago.
So, Tankathon.
Tankathon hates the Blackhawks.
is
At least they stopped loving the Blues.
really not loving the Blackhawks here.
Yeesh. Well, we hit it last game or 2 games ago.
Last post game, yeah.
Yeah, last
we hit it
post-game
in the
we hit
last
it.
2 post games.
Yeah. All right, we're okay. It's all right.
That's
Plenty
just,
of
that's
time.
just, I'm like seriously disappointed over it.
Yeah,
right
I feel
now.
bad.
I know.
It's like a kick in the gut. I'm
Just
gonna,
think of how shitty it's going to feel the night it
yeah, I
happens.
know. Jesus.
Dude.
I'm going to be a giant ball of nerves that day.
Where the
it's
Flyers
gonna be
get Bedard and the Blues get Fantilli.
Ugh. I may cry.
Oh, my
Shut
God.
I may
your
actually
dirty
cry.
pirate hooker mouth.
So bad.
All right, we're back tomorrow. Hey, guess what we're going to do? Tomorrow, 2:30, we're going to do a mailbag show. Hit us up on Twitter at CHGO_Blackhawks.
Final
if you're
mailbag
a
of
CHGO
2022.
diehard, hit us up on the Discord, and you will get priority, the members-only Discord, diehards-only Discord. So we'll be with you at 2:30. We're going to be remote tomorrow, but we're still going to answer all of your Blackhawks questions, so make sure you get them in. Again, any of us on Twitter, I'm at Jay Zawaski, Greg's at Greg Boysen, Mario's at Mario_Tirabassi, and the show is at CHGO_Blackhawks. Get us your questions, and of course, participate on the chat during the show. and we'll do our best to answer all of your questions tomorrow at 2:30. Thank you, everybody, for being with us. I know this season is tough, but you have been here with us every step of the way, and we could not appreciate it more. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.